Hello, welcome to Salt and Light Canning. I'm Jessica and this is my kitchen. I'm so happy that you're here. Today I am canning one of my daughter's very favorite things, and that is bone-in chicken. Now the way I do it is I season my chicken when I put it in the jar, and also I add broth. You do not have to do it that way. You can just put chicken in the jar and that's it, and that's perfectly fine. I like it seasoned because it makes for a better meal. And I use things that I would use on any chicken meal that I'm cooking anyway. Anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna make a seasoning blend on my plate so I can dip my chicken, and then we will put it in jars. So first, I'm going to start out with some kosher salt. Next, I have some all-purpose seasoning. Feel free to do whatever kind of seasoning you want for your chicken. Some black pepper, some paprika, and some garlic powder. Get this mixed up. If you wanted to, you could right now just put this in a container as a seasoning blend, and it's just delicious. It would be great mixed into like your flour and cornmeal for doing fried chicken. These are the things I would use in fried chicken. These are the things I use in roasted chicken or barbecued chicken, and any chicken dishes. All right, I'm gonna clean this up and I'll be back when I'm putting it in jars. All right, so I do this in a couple of steps, and yes, I have gloves on just because I don't want all the seasoning under my nails. So the first step is I make my seasoning blend, and then I'm going to coat my chicken. Now I've washed my chicken, okay, made sure it was clean. Coat my chicken in some of the seasoning, and then I do my best to fit as many pieces of bone-in chicken in the jar as I can. You don't have to do it this way. It's delicious this way. My daughter absolutely loves it, but it's kind of messy. We're gonna have to really clean our jars before we put the rings and lids on, because it's gonna make a mess. But we'll just do our very best. It's worth it to me to have delicious food that we are going to want to eat. I have a combination here of thighs and wings, but you can do anything you want to do. I think that thigh is just a little bit too big. We'll do this one. Obviously, within reason, make sure it's stuff that's safe to can. Bone-in chicken is safe to can. And I will move on to the next jar. But this is great if you just have a busy weeknight and you just need to get something on the table. We'll open a jar of chicken because it's already cooked and warm it up. And then maybe some vegetables or some rice. And it's just delicious and we love it. One jar is plenty for the three of us. But if you have more, you can always open more than one jar. That's the great thing about having canned food on the shelf, is you can do as much or as little as you need to do for your family. It's also great. I like taking the bone-in chicken to work with like some zucchini salad. That's just delicious. I love it. And it's just already cooked, and it's easy meals to do. Can usually fit about 4 or 5 pieces of chicken in a jar. Let me know what things you're canning. I love to hear from you. All right, remember at the beginning I said that your jars get really dirty with the seasoning on your chicken. So what I do is I clean them twice. So I'm gonna clean my rims really well with vinegar now. And then after I put the broth in, I'm gonna clean them again before I put my rings on. This just helps to make sure that I have a good seal. You don't have to do it this way. Please, please can your chicken how you want to can your chicken. My thought process is I'm going to do everything I can to ensure a good seal, especially when I'm canning meat. So I always make sure that I clean the rims really well, because I don't want to take a chance on not having my jars seal after I took the time to put the meat in there. That's the thing with canning. It's about doing the right thing over and over and over again. Making sure things are clean, making sure that you're processing at the right temperature, making sure that you are giving quality food to your family. And we love having meat on the shelf. I know a lot of people make a face because I'm going to tell you right now, chicken does not look pretty in the jar. In fact, no meat looks pretty in the jar. It's just one of those things. It just does not look pretty, but it tastes really good. And it makes my weeknights easier. And my daughter loves it. Bone-in chicken is the only meat that I can in quart-sized jars. With the exception to, I also do the Mississippi pork roast in quart jars because they're intended to be a meal and not just, you know, a quick lunch or something. They're intended to be more like a dinner. So whenever you can get chicken legs or something on sale, it's worth it to take the time and put some in jars. Now, I said at the beginning I like to put broth in my jars of meat. You really don't have to. Lots of people are very against it. I just find that I need some broth in the jar. The meat itself doesn't produce enough broth for me. But please do what makes you happy, what makes you comfortable. If you don't want to put broth in your meat, you don't have to. You could also just use water or just nothing at all. It does create its own broth. It's just not enough for me to cover the meat. So, and of course we're gonna debubble. Just do the best you can. It's kind of hard with those chunky bone-in meat. All right, I said before that I was gonna clean the rims twice. So after I put the broth in, I'm gonna clean it again. Just want to make sure there's nothing that could interfere with the seal. Get a lid and a ring, and just to finger tight. And we'll do our next jar. So my canner is full. I have 7 quarts of chicken in here. The water is cold. Everything is cold because the product in my jars was cold. And you want to match temperatures to reduce the amount of siphoning that you have. So I'm going to put the lid on. This is my Presto 16 quart pressure canner. I absolutely love this. It's probably my favorite canner. Just love it. And I'm going to turn the stove on. Now, I'm not going to turn it on high. I don't can anything on high. It's between medium and high. We're going to bring this up to temperature. I'm going to let it vent out of this vent, a steady stream of steam for 10 minutes. Then I'll put my weight on, bring it up to pressure. I have to can at 15 pounds of pressure for my altitude, and I'm going to process for 75 minutes. And I'll be back when I'm taking them out. My chicken processed for 75 minutes. That's how long you process bone-in chicken. You can check that with the National Center for Home Food Preservation. It's 75 minutes for quarts. So I have been waiting for a few minutes. I let the pressure come down naturally, slowly. I didn't touch anything. Then I took the weight off for a couple of minutes. And then I just opened the lid a little bit for a couple of minutes, and then I took the lid off for a couple of minutes, and now they're ready to take out. So we're going to carefully take them out. I do have some siphoning. For some reason that just happens with meat. And meat never looks pretty, but it tastes good. Bubbling away. Now these are going to relax and seal. And have a good night. And tomorrow I will take the rings off and wash the jars and label them and put them in the pantry. I hope this blessed you. I hope it encouraged you. Don't be afraid to try. You'd be surprised. Everybody goes, oh, you can meat? And they make such a face. But when they eat it, they're like, wow, this tastes really good. It tastes like you spent all day long slow cooking your meat, and it just falls off the bone, and it's just delicious. And you're going to love it. Be so blessed. Know that you're loved. And be a blessing to someone else. I'll see you in the next video.